Hi guys, today I want to show you 5 not so obvious techniques for adding tension to your track. Okay, as you can hear, there's this basic loop I have, which already has some tension itself due to this sound being modulated by LFO. So every instability in the track adds the tension to the arrangement. Okay, so first technique will be to add our subtract questions. So in this sequence, I got first part and the second part, and first part asks and the second part answers. And if we take out these, second part, it's like constantly adding questions. So the way I would use that in the context would be to have kind of break, super simple. I'm just taking out the kick, and then we still get the whole sequence. And I emphasize the tension here by not having the second part. So once again, we enter the break, we've got the whole sequence once again, and then we take out the answer, second half. And then in the second half of this half of the break, we're taking out the whole second part. And there is this gap that creates a tension. Okay, so that was the first one. So the second one would be making the sound longer. And this is kind of obvious, but maybe you might forget about it. So I have this decay of this second oscillator here. And as you can hear, I'm making it longer. And if so every time I do longer sounds, there is a tension. So it's basically like right now a matter of playing with the length of the sound to create tension. And then the third technique. Third technique would be to add sustained sound, and as you can hear, I have pretty sustained sound, pretty not in tune, so it's like doubling the tension. But it's long sound. Yeah, every one bar. Pretty stable, not stable. And what I'm also doing here is I'm adding this sound as the fifth of the scale. So this track is in scale A minor, so the fifth would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth would be E, and the sixth would be F. So every time you add fifth or sixth in the track, in your scale, this would create a lot of tension. Yeah, there's tense moment, a lot. Okay, I've added closed cut. And here the third technique will be to modulate the sound. And as you can hear, this guy is opening in filter. So that's why the growing, making it longer and longer, just creates more and more tension. We could make this hi-hats a bit longer. Yeah, so modulation as a third technique. And then the fourth technique would be to have the accent on 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a clap on 1. Again, adding tension with extra notes. And now the fifth technique, the final one, would be to create a contrast. And all of the time we were hearing this bass line. And here we would enter the next breakdown with this bass line being subtracted. And again, we're doubling the tension by adding the sustained sound. And we're creating contrast by taking out all the lows from the kick. I would again make the hi-hats a bit longer, modulate the frequency of the operator. I'm making longer this sound. And this is super nice resolution with using additional claps to sustain the energy and sustain kind of like a coherency within 2 parts. Okay, so here we are, 5 techniques about adding tension, and they were taking out the question or the second part of your sequence. Then it was making your sounds longer, making changes to the decay or to release. And then the third technique was to add sustained sound, and here the perfect use would be to add some fifth or the sixth of the scale of your track. And the fourth technique was to add an accent on 1, because when you do that you emphasize the bit, so it's like bam 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 or tss, 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 tss. Yeah, when you emphasize the bit on 1, you create a lot of tension. And then the fifth technique was to use contrast. This might be obvious because we usually know that people, they take out kick or take out highs or some sequences, but here we've used it in a different context, like taking out a bass sequence that was playing all the time and then gradually taking out all the lows from the kick and then combining it with the tension from the sustained sound and making the hi-hat longer. So that was it. Hope that was helpful for you, and if it has, and if you want to learn more from me, there is a link to the Rapid Arrangement mini course where you can learn how to arrange your track in less than 2 hours, or you can watch any other video popping around here. Have a great studio session.